Hi, dear dreamers. I'm Lisa Hayes, your host for Dreams for Society and coach and energy cleaning facilitator with Dreams for You Coaching. I'd love to hear from you if you are called to receive an energy cleansing, dream card reading from my 44 dream card deck, or a transformational life coaching session. Today is Monday, March 29th, 2021, and I'm thrilled to connect with our guest, Dela Catudal, on Dreams for Society show today, connecting all the way from Indianapolis, Indiana to Zurich, Switzerland. I'd love to be there with you, Dela, right now in Zurich.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You would not believe how beautiful the weather is. I mean, it's ridiculous how beautiful it is. I wasn't here for a long time, for many years. And I like, whoa, it is gorgeous.
Well, someone that's been, someone that's been around a lot in many places and lived in many places, that's saying a lot, how beautiful Zurich is. I'd love to be there. Before we start this interview, I wanted to share with you and the audience, a bit about you, Dela, in case they haven't been fortunate enough, like I have, to meet and spend time with you recently, and Egypt of all places, but more on that later.
Yeah.
So, Dela, I know you're a conscious evolution teacher, and we'll probably talk about what you mean by that. And I know you've committed your life to the evolution and development of humanity. Now that says a lot. You're globally well known and recognized for such a young soul, or not young soul, old soul, young person in this lifetime. And your life transformation ceremonies and group gatherings, I know, are such a gift to many on this earth. And, I noticed on your website that you studied metaphysical science at the Arthur Findlay College at Stansted in the UK. Now, what an amazing program that facility was offering to people. I'm so glad you got to do that.
Yeah, me too.
and you worked amongst the most accomplished metaphysics professors, guiding others to harness the power of their own gifts and discover their highest levels of productivity and fulfillment. And I'm kind of reading here, you can tell. We're going to have to talk more about that, because that says a million things in just that one description. I can't imagine going to a university to study metaphysics. Well, over the past 15 years, I know you've facilitated the awakening and transformation of the lives of thousands of human beings across this planet. And I wanted to share with the audience a testimonial I saw on your website from Amy Louise in Australia. May I do that?
Oh, yeah, she's so, yeah.
I feel like that sums up what I experienced being around you in Egypt. She says, I first met Dela in Thailand, and this beautiful woman inspired me to live again. Her energy, positivity, and love radiates on to everyone she comes in contact with. I consider myself truly blessed to have spent time with her when I did. I cannot recommend Dela enough.
Oh God, this is so touching hearing that, because I see her in front of me and I know her story, and I have goosebumps, what a beautiful soul she is. And yeah, it was wonderful to work with her and to support her on her journey, to come back home to herself. And I mean, everybody brings in a story, and it's hard for many people to drop the story in regards of understanding that the story is all just a product of the vibration you have to face in your reality within and around you, because you're not able to face it within you first. You need to project it into the universe, for that it's reflected, for that you become aware that this energy is here to be dissolved and integrated. And so she had a very hardcore story. And so, yeah. And she's happy. She's in Australia and she's happy and she's doing well. So that's the biggest outcome and reward for me, to hear that she is going to do her life,
Well, I invite the listeners to pause and rewind and listen to what Dela just said again. That is packed, girl. That is packed with so much wisdom. So much wisdom.
Just
And
your mirror, darling.
I resonate with your words so much. And that is the foundation of, I know, what we're going to talk about and expand further on today. So yeah, if you want, hit the pause button, rewind, and listen to that again before we go any further. What I also want to talk about today, and we'll get to this a little bit later, is you have developed a groundbreaking methodology that you call BreathOlution. And
Yeah.
I was privy, I was able to experience this, and more on that later about my experience in Egypt when you facilitated this for the group. I was blown away. So
yeah, you did. You
yeah.
you are the one.
So we will get into that. And I'm here to tell you, Dela, you have so many gifts to share. And I was able to experience one of those most beautiful gifts, your ability to facilitate this breath work. And I know you work with everyone, from professional athlete teams, top CEOs, to government officials, celebrities, moms and dads, everyone in between.
Every
Anybody
human being. Are you incarnated in a physical human body? Here I am.
Yeah. If you're ready to shift past memories into wisdom, Dela's all yours. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I love it.
Yeah.
And below this video, I will have Dela's website and email. You can find her at delacatudal@gmail.com and www.delacatudal.com. And that also links to her YouTube and Facebook pages. So you can get a hold of her for sure. Is there any other contact information that you would like to add to that, Dela?
No, this is actually in the current moment, that's all at the moment. I'm always on Instagram. Yeah, but it's kind of like, I need to be very, very honest here, of course, what we anyway are. But when it comes to social media, and I really lack a little bit on that. I need to work on that, because this is for me kind of like, I'm more the person, one-to-one gathering with people and doing and shooting videos. I love it, but it's kind of a little, I just, long story short, I need to be more present online in that way, and it's going to happen more and more now. And so my website needs to be more done. But yeah, I'm happy with what it is right now, and it's going to be I'm gonna cure now more, because the COVID is actually forcing us, right? Which is a good thing. It's just helping us expand and to funnel our energy more into to a brighter audience. And so yeah, we just have to ride the wave. So
Exactly. Yeah, ride the wave. And we all have an impact, no matter how big or small we might perceive it to be. It's always huge. It ripples out there throughout the universe, the universe, the universe, whatever.
Yeah. The universe.
Yeah.
with why.
Yeah. Well, I usually start my interviews out for Dreams for Society, Imagine, Visualize, and Create is the mantra, with a life path question. May I ask you, Dela, to breathe in, where you are right now, since you love to do the breath work.
Yeah.
And in this space of time, would you share with us what path you've taken so far in your life journey that has brought you to the here and now, to the person you are right now?
How much time do you have?
Sorry. As much time as you would love.
I could try to keep it short, right? But I mean, it is that moment when, I was a young child when I watched The Never Ending Story, and the first part, and then I was like, oh my God, we create our own reality. And then everything was different. And I was about 6 years old or around. And so everything changed. Everything. I understood my guides with me. I had you know, and I drove my parents crazy with questions about Egypt and, you know, planets and solar systems. And so, but when the whole journey kicks in with the puberty, like when you get 14, 15, which was a totally, was a hardcore time, everything is changing again. So all these phases of change, I was very aware of it. And I always had a split in consciousness by being in the body and being the human and have an objective perspective of life itself, being not human. And so I needed to bring these two together. And with all the programming of life itself, by experiencing and then experiencing emotion, and emotion experiencing vibration, which means you're going to project and reflect again, and this is, you create a reality, and you co-create with other people you engage with, or with TV programs you're just watching, or everything that affects you. You're programmed with imprints, and also with the ancestral programming of your parents, and. So I can go very far with this, you see, but I keep it like here. And I needed to deprogramming myself. And that moment I became aware of the programs, I started to work on them. So it's self-awareness, self-reflection, self-realization, and then self-responsibility. And all with that, I began to understand life in sense of creation in the very moment. And this is also where when my brother died, it's okay. It was his decision, right? It was his journey, his life journey. I mean, he was not my biological brother. He was kind of adopted. It doesn't make any difference. Family is created in our hearts, not on paper. And so it's like, I had a very rough time, obviously, and I started to breathe differently. And it came in even more and more, the sacred breath of Isis, right? I was like, all right, okay, what's that?
What is that?
So what is that? And so a friend of mine took me to a breathwork, holotropic breathwork session. And I was around 2000 and 2001, 2002, 2001, about that time. And so, and I was like, yeah, I was like you, blown away. What is that? And it was really, really intense, everything. So I knew that the shift I made in that moment with releasing old patterns, which I knew they're there, and I couldn't release them because the mind, intellectual part of the mind, is a part of the product. So it's a part of the issue. You recreate by rethinking and recalling everything through the conditioned mind, which is related to your emotions you suppressed. So this is a feedback loop internally. And I was studying with the metaphysical science as a medium and as a physical trance medium, as a trance healer, as, you know, all these different layers of healing methods I learned and how you say, evolved and unlocked. But it didn't really did the job with it, you know. And with the breath work, all of a sudden I released and my body felt different. And through the breath, it was like you align in all the bodies, the emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual. And it was such a profound experience that I knew my life mission is to raise human consciousness already as a child, which was very annoying for my parents and everyone, even for me sometimes, like, what am I doing here? It's totally, Switzerland was so close, you know, like this, like living in a box. And so, but then the breath came in and everything changed completely. I started to evolve and I started to deconditioning the past, integrating to purify my mind-body operation system, as I call it. I call it the mind sound. And through the breath, the mind sound, the feeling tone changed. So my perception about myself changed. So the perspective and perception about the whole changed, and the connection with myself changed. So I figured out that everything is all about me, not in a selfish way, but in a self-full way, in a way of, if I am taking responsibility for everything that I see, observe, experiencing as a feeling in the outer world externally, if I take this responsibility, I'm in charge. Mm-hmm. So I'm in my power, so I can alter it. and I can face it, I can work through it. And this was the breaking point where I said, okay, I do the work for myself first, full on. There is no excuse. And there were people coming into my life, they really triggered me big time. Like whoa, whoa, my God. So like really like things that I was not aware of, obviously. And so I needed these people, I needed this relationship. And it's every very challenging, sad, not fair things that happen, circumstances were the best that helped me to evolve my own consciousness in a different level. I could hold more light in my body by integrating the shadows, you know? So yeah, it's like, that's why I'm here where I am with this level of consciousness, or I don't like to say a level because it sounds like I'm here, you there, which is not true at all. We're just in a different feeling tone, in a different range of frequency. And this is the whole product, the completion of the consciousness evolution of the self, by knowing who you're not, to understand and to become who you are. And through the breath, everything came together. And so the BreathOlution was actually the birth of the whole program of completion of the self, where everyone has, by self-committing, the opportunity to go on that journey and to support the collective consciousness. By you are cleansing, purifying, and unifying, you are going to do this for the collective, you know? So from separation consciousness to unity consciousness, that's the big teaching.
I love it. You know, you said integrate the shadows. So when I was hiking several years ago, I heard, and also got a tune with it, that the dark is simply the light forgotten. Do you feel like you're able to integrate, accept, and I also have this word, these 3 words, accept, appreciate, approve, accept that for what it is. You take responsibility for what triggered you, that shadow, that dark shadow, and that you can see the light that it really is. Okay.
100%.
Tune that, in a sense, what you perceived to be the dark as the
Was
light.
not. Yeah.
As the light that was forgotten. So now you're in a different frequency. Is that sort
100%, 100%, because the shadow is, as you said, very perfectly beautiful. It's the light you've forgotten because there was pain involved and there's the story involved. You push and you give some meaning to it. That's why it's frozen. You have resistance, attachments, judgments. And in that moment, you let go of those resistance, judgments, and attachments.
Yeah.
Your surrender. You need to surrender to the shadow, because the shadow is just an aspect of you, a part of you, which happened once through you, to you, you know, to cleanse this energy through the physical for the collective. And so the shadows are actually our goal, as I love to say. It is our growth factor to...
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Donnie.
You also mentioned that you perceived the mind to have sound when you were doing your breath work.
Yeah.
So, you know, sound, vibration, frequency, toning. Can you expand on that a little bit? It's as if through breathing and bringing in a different sound in the mind, you are able to surrender and let go of the shadow, the programs that no longer serve us. Is that
so? What the thing is with no longer serve us, it's kind of like interesting because it serves us.
Okay.
As long as we are able to understand that it serves us, and then it's transforming, you know.
That's true.
But the thing is with the mind sound, as I call it, is like, for me, music is a very important part of life. Music, it's almost everything to me. It's kind of like, for me, evolution of consciousness means love, music, art, and also kind of grief, right, in certain ways. And it's like, these are the points where you evolve the most, for personally right now. And it's kind of like this, my father is a musician, and I grew up with jazz, with music, the classic. It was always here. And so as a child, I developed, or I had this, I could hear frequencies, different ones, and it was annoying because it was disturbing. And then I learned to channel that. And for me, the mind has a sound, different sounds, which means the sound is made out of different experiences of an individual, which is a different emotions related to, and these emotions have a different vibration, a certain vibration. Like anger has a different vibration than joy. Very different, very different. And so you not just can, there are people that can hear it, they see colors when they feel emotions, or there's very different abilities everyone actually has, but not focused on. That's why you don't practicing it, and that's why it's not a cure.
Yeah.
But through the mind sound, when you are in a certain state, emotional state, this is a state of consciousness. And in that state of consciousness, you vibrate in a certain range of frequency. For example, we say shame or guilt, you maybe vibrate from 10 to 40 hertz. So your whole system is, when you are in the state of shame or guilt, you're vibrating in this range of frequency of hertz. You have only then these thoughts as strings in frequency available. They are related to this range of frequency. So the vibrational range of 10 to 40 is connected to the range of frequency of thought from 10 to 40. So you're not going to think about riding a horse in the desert because it makes you so happy when you feel guilt.
That makes
it's right. So that's why it's so important to acknowledge the state you're in, not having resistance, and being aware that the state you're in, the level of consciousness, determines the range of frequency you have available in thoughts.
I love how you stated that, because
Yeah.
I've always used an analogy of tuning to a different channel, like on the radio dial, the old-fashioned radio dials. So so what I'm hearing you say is, if I tune to anger and I only have 40 hertz or whatever, I'm just paraphrasing, in which to play, you're right. I'm just going to be thinking of the anger stories, and that's going to be reflected back to me, right?
Exactly. And this is where the breath comes in. Could come in. Excuse me. Because when you're thinking, the way you're thinking and the way you are feeling an emotion is interconnected with the way you breathe, and vice versa. So when people become aware how they breathe when they feel certain emotions, rather than to push them away and distract themselves and postponing the inevitable of facing it, changing, allowing, surrendering, relaxing the body and breathing into the area where you feel the emotion the most, and surrendering to the energy, not the story of the anger, but the frequency, the vibration frequency in your body as an energy, and change your breath rhythm in a more constant, conscious way, conscious, connected way, in a circular way, and just relax the exhale. Inhale deep and relax the exhale, and do it again and again. You are changing your state. But when the mind needs to surrender, you need to let go of the story, of the messenger that triggered you. The mind, intellectual part, needs to surrender, and it's happening. The emotion is fading.
I love what you said. Focus on the energy, releasing that. And earlier you said take responsibility, because at some point we chose that frequency on the radio dial, and own it, take responsibility, and now we can transmute it or transform it or whatever. The shadow is simply the light forgotten, or the dark is simply the light forgotten. And then when we release that emotion, I'm hearing you say, the story is really not that relevant, because what is a story without an emotion? So the story just fades, right?
The story, in fact, the story needs the awareness of that the story is only the bringer of the gift to you, to see, oh, there's a shadow. Let's just heal and integrate and purify it out of my body-mind operation system.
Oh, wow.
It's, the story is not important. And this, you need to learn to drop the story, because the story is the past. Even it just happened 10 minutes ago, it's still the past. I love that. Making you aware of something. So drop the story, become aware of what's going on in your system, and feel what is here to feel for you, because that's the purpose of life as well. Feel.
Mm.
Feel what is to feel, release what is a lower vibration, what is shifting your consciousness in a vibration of fear, in a vibration of anger, of and so on. Be present with it, breathe and release, and drop the story. You know, as long, can you relate to that, that when you are experiencing an emotion and you have a story with it, and you relate the story into your childhood, and you know the red, we call in Switzerland red rope, that goes through all the different phases of life.
Red tape
and
is what we call it here in the
oh,
government.
that's good too. Red tape, yeah. See, it's always red. Isn't this interesting? Root chakra, red. It's so interesting. So we go down there the road, and you go back to your childhood, and there's a kind of a source experience, like the core experience. And you relate all the stories you had, like the memory pool in the mind is so big. And then you go back to the story and you end up there. And then what happened is that the ego and the intellectual part is going to start to push it away from you and to blame other people. My father didn't do that because I did this. And because he didn't do that because I needed that, but he did do that what I didn't need. My mother did, you know, all that stuff, which does it in any single case helped you to release the energy out of your system when you hold on to the story? Or did it get worse, the energy in your body? What happened then? Ask yourself the question, you know? So I guess.
Oh, I hear you on that. A couple of things come to mind. You know, I had a long marriage and a very difficult divorce. And a lot of memories over the years have come up about the marriage. And I realized, my gosh, I'm remote viewing the past memory, bringing it into the now. But worse, I'm bringing in an emotional charge in the now. And as you're saying, if we can release that emotional charge now, that memory will fade. And I've noticed that. And then another thing I was going to mention, years and years ago, when I was first starting to get aware of what you've been saying all along, that you became aware as a child, I remember driving home from work one night, and I started thinking about my ex-husband. And I was observing myself get worked up about him. And I thought, my gosh, my mind is playing tricks on me. If I had thought nice things about him or saw nice stories around him, I'd walk into the house and say, "Hi, honey." But instead, I was going to walk in the house and be really upset. And I thought, this is amazing how our mind works.
This is the power of the mind. And see what we can do in a way of, think about if you would have released the stories. How you would feel then and what you could have created then. That's why, especially in these days and time we're in, people realize to release past stories, that the past story, the memory, becomes wisdom. When it's wisdom, you can work the lessons. You can take the wisdom and create a new life for yourself and for your family, your friends, loved ones, for the world, for the entire planet and the universe, omniverse. Let's go there. You know, multiverse. And so it's like if you drop it, if you integrate it, you know. But as long you are married with or you have been married with him, you needed that to see why you shouldn't be married with this beautiful person that helped you a lot in evolving yourself. You know what I mean?
And funny, he used to be able to walk like an Egyptian. He did that really well. You know, I wish I had a video of it. Whatever the little comic strip, walk like an Egyptian.
Like that.
And you kind of scoot your feet on the surface and do this kind of thing. Anyway, so I feel like we've had many simultaneous lives together, and I feel like you and I have had many simultaneous lives together. And, you know, we're all coming together right now, here and now, to, as you're saying, share this life and maybe integrate our shadows. We get triggered by certain people. What can you expand on why, do you feel like you've known people in other lives and what, why they're here with you now?
I do. I just can give this back to you. It is actually really like that. As we met in Egypt, I was like, oh, there she is. It is just a feeling. It is a match, a vibrational match on a different level,
Yeah.
In a different color, in a different feeling tone, as I say, right?
Yeah.
And it was just clear. And then the intellectual part of the mind is not really able to make any sense of it because it's not related to this life, but the pure potential part of the mind, which is another part of the mind, knows us very well. So it's not happening. It didn't happen a lot when I was growing up, but it happened recently much more. The last, I would say, 10 years, it happened more and more. Absolutely. But it's still special. It's not like I'm going on the street and meet, oh, hi, you've been with me there. And hi, you're there. It's not like that. It's a special occasion, special places. I feel it's just happening. And yeah, it's literally like that I feel that the more you cleanse and purify your system from the human experience life of this lifetime, you are coming back home to the essence of vibration. You are actually frequency vibrating in as pure consciousness, as this starseed light worker, as you call it, as the higher self, which is slowly embodying into this body, into our bodies, in this ascension process we're all in. And the more you are in your power and knowing thyself, the more you are a vibrational match to the truth within you and into the world, into the external. So you become a vibrational match to your soul family, because you're not a vibrational match anymore to your conditioned, programmed life, which caused you to bring people in. They mirror you, the programs you were running, for you to face and become aware of them within you externally, to heal and integrate them.
Oh.
So yes, I feel the same way. It's just happening now that we all come together and collaborate in this sweet union, and let go of separation and become unified within ourselves and unify us in this collective light worker and star seeds. And as you want to call it, there are so many words humans use or people use to explain where we come from. And it's, by the way, not special, because we all are stardust. We all are coming from somewhere. We all had millions of lives everywhere. It's not just Earth.
Yeah.
So it's just what creation is. And yeah, we have multiple experiences and multiple different dimensions, which means frequencies where we're experiencing ourselves. And now we're here. How did we do that?
Yeah, that's what I'd like to explore more, is how do we do this? How do we meet our frequency vibrational matches? And I sure felt that as I was sitting across from you at lunch in that outdoor restaurant.
Oh yeah, with the cats.
Yeah, we were in Egypt for the audience. We were in Egypt. Our tour was actually from March from February
25th
through March the 9th. And about midway, maybe through the trip, we were chatting across from each other at lunch. And I'm like, I've got to have a longer conversation with you. And I said, would you like me to interview you on Dreams for a Society? You didn't know much about me. You didn't know I had a show. You said, yes. I said, great.
Yes. Yeah, it was no brainer. It was clear. I mean,
it wasn't. I knew that this show was a perfect venue for what you have to say, have the wisdom that you can share with all of us.
Yeah.
Wow. And as we're sitting across from each other, again, I'm so inspired. I've done 3-day fasts, but you were doing a cleanse fast the whole trip with all the beautiful offerings. The food was included in the cost, and you're cleansing. And I'm sitting there going, huh. So this is kind of a tangential thing here, but it is related to our lunch. Why do you, what do you discover when you cleanse your body during and after?
So I know fasting from before. I'm doing this normally 2 times a year, about between 10 days and 21 days. It really depending on my physical, it depends on a lot of factors, how you feel, where are you at in life and so on. But I didn't do it last year. I had too much going on, and my body was not I was not in a space to do it. So when before Egypt happened, I received from my guides like, it would be nice if you would fast.
Wait,
And I
let's
was
stop
like,
there. You received from your guides.
yeah.
Let's break that down just a little for the audience. Okay, so your
No,
guides. Is this an
yeah.
internal voice? Guides you've met on other dimensions? Can you explain?
It's a combination of everything. It's like, it's kind of a collective where I'm from. It's a collective where I've been. It's a collective where they know me and observe me and support me in a way of the work I'm doing.
So these are
And
interdimensional
yes,
beings. Okay.
multidimensional beings, yeah, and from different frequencies, states of frequency. And there's a team together. They're since I can think, since I can know that I'm incarnated, and they're always with me. And when the intellectual part of the mind kicked in, I started to ask stupid questions like, who are you, where are you, I don't believe that it's you, and all that stuff you do, right? Because you are still in a human body, and you don't want to be fooled. You know what I mean? This journey you have to go on.
Yeah.
So these are actually entities. They work with me, through me, and we communicate. And it's interesting how I receive and perceive them. It's not always, sometimes I hear them, but these are kind of like, they blend through that I'm a physical trance, I'm a trance medium. And from a very young age, and then it stands that we developed that when they blend frequency with my frequency, that they can take over my body, because it's easy for me to get away of my body and to just be non-attached. Mm-hmm. This is also when I did trance healing for people. They moved my body where the energy needed to go in that term. It's just a very specific way of doing what I'm doing. And they blend with me and they move my body. And so through that, they also can write through me. So I write, they write through me. It's a lot of fun, right? But you need to surrender the mind again. And my mind is really strong. And like, what? I don't know that word. What was that? What? And I was like, shut up, Dela. Like, kind of like, so go away, go out of your way. And so these are just, this blending is happening, and I feel the vibrational frequency. So I let go, and we communicate in different ways. Sometimes it's a package of vibration, and I decode it.
Right.
It's hard to describe and explain.
More telepathic, right?
Exactly. It's very telepathic. I just communicate, and I get. Thank you. That's actually the word I wanted to explain since 10 minutes.
Also sometimes visuals, right? You get.
Yes, very much. Yes, very much. Very much. Yes. It's on all different extrasensory abilities, and all the senses I can perceive them, which everyone can, by the way.
So
everyone.
They said, Dela, we really like you to fast during Easter.
Yes.
I bet your mind's what?
Yeah, I was actually already like a little bit like, I knew it, it's so important, such an important journey, and especially because it's Egypt, and so I was just like, all right, I totally agree with that, but I need your help because I love food. I'm living in a vegan lifestyle since a long time, and I love to prepare my food. Yes, sister, of course you do. And then it's like preparing food, and being I just love it, and I love my dark vegan chocolate. I'm really Swiss in that way.
Yeah,
I know, you told me. I can't wait to taste that one day, darling. Seriously,
yes, you'll have to visit.
So inspiring. It's so inspiring. But it's like, I'd asked them for help, because I needed to support vibrationally, to bring my body in a certain vibrational state, to surrender, and to just cleanse the thought form, the thought content of food. And every night we had initiation and the transmission of energy, and on the 24th, when I started, in that morning, everything was gone. I didn't even want to have my hot chocolate in the morning. Not at all. I was like, whoa, that's amazing. All right, let's do this. And so I went with it. And first I thought, yeah, a couple days, we will see. And then it went so well. I was so energized. I know this from fasting. I'm very energized. And a couple of days when you're in ketosis, the body starts really to be energized, because there's stuff the brain can use, right? There's through the ketones. And so it was really organic, and everything I experienced, the trance and the physical trance, and everything was like times 1,000. So I could walk on a temple area, and I had downloads, and I felt I knew I've been here, or I was not here before. So it was literally, I was tuning in so easily without having any intention to tune in. It was just there. And I had a huge heart opening through the whole journey. My heart was the indicator of everything. You know, everything was so much more intense and connected and in depth and present. I was so present, you know, and there's no such thing as a destruction. You're not even allowing it to happen, because you know why you're doing it, and you just be the flow instead of going and being in a flow. So it was really, the communication was super easy with these beautiful beings. I don't want to scare anyone with names, because I learned not to say names anymore, because people are intimidated and they think, yeah, you are. And I don't want to do that, because it's like everyone can connect with every entity. And it's not just personal, like, hey, I am connecting with Horus and you're not.
Because it's the energy vibration, and someone else may call it a different name, or see it.
That's it. Absolutely. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And so in Egypt, standing in this tomb of Ramses III, and was alone, and I just got him inside of my, not Ramsey, just this God in front of my third eye, and I was like, oh, hi, here you are, how are you? Like playful. And I was like, where are you? And he moved my body up like this, and I looked up, and I was like, yeah, no, there's nothing. And he did this, look to the left, and I could hear him, and I was like, oh, nice. I looked, a huge painting of him, and I was like, holy moly.
Holy moly.
I still surprised, even I do this for a long time, I'm still surprised the beauty in the connection of this multidimensional aspect of ourselves, which is just happening in this 3D reality we call world, or you know, reality. So it's overlapping of dimensions.
Yeah.
And it only goes through your body. It's not possible it goes through anything else. So that's why I feel the fasting was an important part of me, to also all this initiation that happened, all these temples was happening that quick and that intensely, because my digestive system was at rest. My focus was clearly on the spiritual part of my beingness and through the physic. And yeah, that's, I guess, why I could take it and I could do it. And I went through it. Even, I have to say, it's my favorite food. It wasn't hard for me to do it, but I love the food in Egypt so much. So, but yeah, it was the right decision to listen. Right?
It was as if your heart then was guiding your mind.
Yes.
And opening you up to, and facilitating the awareness, expanding your awareness, so that you could now see and incorporate more clearly.
Yeah. Yes.
Messages from your multidimensional guides. They're there with you. I mean, you're not, this is not woo-woo to me. I
know.
I'm doing this too.
I remember.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. I think you remember you're saying for the listeners the
Yeah.
BreathOlution experience. I wanted to, before we get to that, I wanted to though just expand a little further. So your mental, there are a lot of people with mental illnesses, and what I've noticed, even just with a 3-day fast, one of the times after the third day, I had such joy. I'm walking around with a lot of joy now because of my metaphysical experiences. I had so much joy after this 3-day fast. My two
Yeah.
cats were looking at me as I'm dancing and singing and all this. I'm like, what's going on? So the joy frequency that you were holding because of the cleansing
Very true.
obviously was the facilitator to connect you with all the joy beings out there and the joy messages.
Yeah, it's exactly the vibration.
Yeah.
If you match because through the toroidal field, you have all the vibration of all the multidimensional areas within you and around you, right? It's for everyone, accessible. And with the fasting, you're literally shifting to, because the spiritual aspect is so much more present,
Mm-hmm.
and the mind surrenders and the emotions are cleansing, in that way. So joy, happiness, bliss, peace, love. And when I call unconditional love in, I mean unconditional love for the self. For that, you can share it, right? For everything you want to experience in life, you need to have it within you and experiencing within you to share it, to match it vibrationally. So the joy, of course, is a high frequency. And so it's very easy for them to blend. If people are in a lower state of consciousness, in a lower state of a vibration, like anger, frustration, sadness, you're like a little candle, like a little flame. The light's always there. And if then spirit wants to blend with you, they're like a huge central sun. It's very hard for them to blend with you. It would burn you. So when you make your fire bigger and your light bigger, and you match the frequency of joy and bliss in peace and in harmony, in this connection, you are radiating this high level of light, because you are holding more light in your body-mind operation system. They can blend super easy with you because you're closer to their light frequency. So it's like a blending and a melting happening like this. And so that's exactly as you say, that the joy is helping you to be in a higher level of consciousness, or being there. So you're actually moving from 3D to 4D when you go into love for the self and mastering that, into 5D where the wisdom and the light comes in as well. So this is like what's happening right now. That happened in Egypt a lot. I could observe with many of us.
Oh yeah, we were all.
We're all over the place.
It was an amazing group. And before we get to that too, so what I'm hearing is you've got 2 treasures in your treasure box that the audience can have as a takeaway. If you're saying to yourself, the listeners out there, I can't do that. Oh, it's just, I'll never get there. Hey, we've just given you 2 of Dela's beautiful treasures. One is the breath work. You can get a hold of her and she can facilitate that. The other one is try a fast, because it sounds like what you're saying through experience, both have shifted the sound in your mind to the frequency of joy and peace and bliss.
100%.
And you don't really, it's not like you have to sit there and try hard. I can't get rid of these negative thoughts. All we have to do is allow ourselves to clean out the gunk so that what's here is revealed, which is the pure bliss and joy.
Yeah, and it's also, for all out there, you cannot get rid of anything that is in your mind-body system.
Okay.
Because getting rid of something by thought means you resist it.
Yes.
And what you resist, we all know that, persists.
Yeah.
So in that way, you're going to, when you are aware that you think thoughts that really are like sticky, like, oh, my Swiss English kicks in. They're like, like not really comfortable, like not in harmony with the self, and you feel it because the emotion is indicating you in what state you are and what quality of thoughts. So you're going to change your thoughts by surrendering to the old.
Okay. So
right?
accepting them, appreciating
Accepting,
them,
100%.
owning them, they're yours. And instead of hating
Oh,
them,
they're not. Thoughts are not ours.
well, they're
Thoughts,
the collective
but
programming.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Also, thoughts are just borrowed.
Yeah,
Thoughts
they're
are
not.
what they're always, right? The strings of frequency you just engage with through your body mind system
Yeah, I feel that
of
too.
emotion.
I feel
Yeah.
like what we really are. If I have a saying, and it's kind of a borrowed one. If we remember who we really are, we'll know we're the ones we're waiting for. So anything
Yeah.
we perceive as distorted in terms of anger or frustration, we can see that as what it really is, which is love and joy, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense. I mean, that's how I do it. It's like
It's
instead of
true.
hating it, I love it
Yeah.
because I know it's not really what I'm perceiving. Just I'm perceiving something distortedly.
Perceptional out of your story because of the belief system you gain, you get from your parents or all whatever affected you, the 10 biggies we call them. But it's also, I just want to say something. It's also, yeah, it's gone, but maybe it comes back. Maybe it wasn't important in that way. But it's really about your perception about yourself. And by doing that, by changing and altering that, you're changing your whole reality, you know.
Yeah. And before we get to the BreathOlution experience I had and a little more about what you do with that, this groundbreaking methodology that you uncovered for people, I just picked up a few of the quotes that are either yours or those that you've borrowed from others that inspire you, and I know will inspire the listeners. Do you mind if we just indulge on? I've got.
Please.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'd love for
please.
you to expand on some of these.
Yeah.
Well, the first one, you are the answer.
That's actually, that's the program. Even I don't like to say program, that's the same again. The model I went with. That's a part of the models, like the programs I gave to people when I work with clients.
Okay.
You are the answer, and then we start the work.
Okay.
It's like a roof, like a topic, right? And you are the answer. It's actually this yatta. It's already there in the world. There are people that are using it. It's not me. You are the answer, right?
Oh.
It's like it's already there. I'm sure. I'm 100% sure, because it's how it is. You are the answer to everything. It starts with you. It ends with you. You know, and you are the energy field. You're the quantum field. You are the effect and the cause and the effect. You're both.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. BreathOlution, and you are the answer. That's it.
Yeah, because that quote that also I had listed here, you just said it. You recognize that you are the effect in the collective when you become aware that you are the cause as well.
Yeah, that's me. I wrote that.
That is crazy. In my English. That is crazy good.
But it's true, right? That's a part of you're the answer, because it's all from separation consciousness to unity consciousness, and it starts with you.
That is a cyclical thought pattern there.
It is. It's like, yeah, it is. But it's only then you realize that you are important. Yeah. You are not just here, oh, I'm just doing this and I'm just that, or your identification with something you do, which humans anyway, we do so much. We try to be human doings and forget that we're human beings. That's not from me, this quote, by the way, but we are forgetting that. And if we would rest and be and match the vibration internally of what reality we would love to experiencing, if we would do this more than just doing by trying to achieving, we would accomplishing so much more, because the action you take out of the vibration you're embodying and maintain within you would lead you to the action to bring you exactly to this vibration, which is the match of what you desire. You know, so yeah.
I love that, because we're not separate from abundance or joy or peace or bliss. Because another quote that I wanted to talk about that is on your website is, everything is connected, nothing is separated, only different in vibrational frequency.
Yes, that's it. That's exactly it. And this also relates to the Kybalion, like the Hermetic principles from from Hermes Trismegistos from Djibouti. And it's literally like that, because there's like, you have like, what can I say? It's like have water, hot and cold. It's the same. It's temperature. It's temperature. It's hot or cold, but it's the same. It's temperature. Then you have, for example, love. So love, fear. Fear is the lowest expression of love. It's also everything that we try to express is always rooted in one single thing. It's love. What do we want is love. What do we want to express is love. Even we express ourselves in anger or fear or frustration or whatever, jealousy, what we really want is that we feel loved. That's why you are getting angry, which leads to forgiveness if you surrender, which leads to understanding yourself that nothing else what you express in your life is a different vibration state of love. This is just personal. If you don't resonate with anything of that, please don't. I'm not here to tell you what's, it's just what I experienced in life, that everything expresses through any vibration and state is it in fact goes back to feeling and sharing love.
That's a great perspective. Rather than fear being separate from love, fear is just the lowest vibration of love.
Yeah, because it's what do you want when you're in fear? What do you lack? When you're in fear, you don't believe that love is there. You don't believe that, but when you feel the fear and you acknowledge fear and you're not running away, you're facing it and you ask yourself, okay, I'm in fear. I feel anxiety out of the fear. What is really the point here? So I'm feeling anxiety because, and then you answer yourself the question. So you will feel that transforming this fear into what it really is, into giving yourself what you really deserve, is the love you seek for. It's like what you seek is seeking you. It's the perfect word, the perfect analogy for the principle of resonance. Whatever you're looking for is looking for you. So fear is just the lack of love. You don't believe that you have love. And of course, there are different ways of fear. There are very different levels of fear. And there are many people experiencing in a different way, right? But also anger or frustration. It's just an absence of something that you already have. And you just express yourself the way because you don't believe you have it, but it's there.
Well, your BreathOlution is obviously one of the, as I said, treasures in the treasure box for people to move from the lowest vibration of love to the highest vibration of love, from, for example, from fear to joy. And I know that you say breath is life, breath is awareness. Breath awareness is life beyond the physical. I know you say the way someone is breathing determines their life itself in perception, perspective, perceiving and receiving all that is created. What else would you like to say about your methodology of BreathOlution? And then I'd like to, or you can talk a little bit about what you perceived happening to members of the group, and then we can get into kind of what happened to me when
your experience.
Yeah, when you facilitated this. Again, for the listeners, Dela was so generous. We had a free afternoon, one of, I think, the only free afternoons we had.
Yeah.
In a beautiful 5-star resort hotel, had like a park area in the middle of the hotel area. And you said, hey, anybody that wants to come to my BreathOlution seminar session from noon to 2, and I'm like, 2 hours? Anyway, I knew I was going to be there. How do you get us to cooperate? How do you get us to do this? I wanted to stop in the first 5 minutes because I was getting so much sensations. But what did you notice, and what were some of the takeaways or feedback that you got from people before we get into what happened to me?
So it's literally like that, because everyone or everybody is in a different state in life. Everyone is also breathing different. When you breathe through it during the day, and you can check in for yourself that that you stop breathing, or you just breathe in a certain way, you shallow breathing or deep breathing, or that you are actually breathing your past because you're breathing your repressed emotions or your state you're in. So you're enhancing whatever happened once. So everybody brings a different breath pattern into the session, into the ceremony. The conditioned or programmed breathing, I call that. And in that different states, everybody is on a different life path. So that's actually also the challenge in that way, to allow everyone to surrender to this conscious connected breathing. And it's very normal that the first 5 to 10 minutes, almost everyone kind of struggles with the breathing, because you're very not used to breathe like that, most of the people, except you are a yoga teacher, or you are someone who is familiar with pranayama or does a lot of breath work. Wim Hof is an amazing experience. You should check him out. Wim Hof.
How do you spell?
Method.
How do you spell?
Wim, WIMHOF. He has an amazing method to align mind body, just in a simple way. It's not a deconditioning way of deprogramming the body mind system, but it's an amazing thing to overcome. That's another topic. I can go far away with that. But check him out, Wim Hof, amazing guy, amazing method. So in that way that everyone brings their story, the mind is not a part of the whole ceremony. And this is a big challenge for many people, because the mind often is in charge, and the ego and intellectual part of the mind is in charge and has in control, and it is in control of everything, operates everything, acts, reacts, you know what I mean with that. And for people, they are in this control mode, they have trouble to surrender that part of the mind, because we go on places the mind cannot understand and will not be able to be a part of it, to stop it, to control it, to say where it goes. And the process know where it goes. This sacred breath of Isis, this sacred breath in BreathOlution knows exactly, this energy life force knows where to go and what is ready to be transformed, without the intellectual part of the mind needs to know about it, right? So I could observe people, they are very much in their head, very much mind orientated, out of their own programming, out of their first 7 years of our childhood, we build our programming, right? Because the intellectual part of the mind is not developed. We are building our belief system through our parents, culture, religion, surrounding country, teacher, everything. And that's not good or bad. It's just how it is, right? It's life. And so this programming, this belief system are the blueprint for our adulthood. And so there are many belief systems, they're painful. And people try to protect themselves, and the intellectual part of the mind and the ego is there to protect you, not to go there again. So when we do this work and we go in this breath process of the BreathOlution, we go there where exactly these energies are stored. But because the mind is not a part of it, we don't go through the stories again. The story is not important. We go right into the roots of the weed, take the roots away, and the weed is gone. We don't observe the weed. We don't check, oh, this is this color of whatever. No, we go right into the roots. You know, you don't need to take apart television to figure out there's a channel and there's this. We go to the frequency where the program is running, and we integrate the frequency for that the channel is gone. You make sense?
Yeah.
So people, they had problems with control and not control in trust. They had more problems to go in the process than people they completely trust into the process and they surrender to it. They had less problems to go in a process. I know I'm talking a lot.
I'm absorbing every bit of it.
And I need to, sometimes my Swiss English, sometimes I want to say something and I don't know the word, so I need to explain it. You know,
love it. Well,
so funny.
No, I'm absorbing every word. Keep going with that. Did you have any particular feedback other than my situation, which I'm
many. So there were people, there were a lady, she just couldn't do it. She just couldn't breathe. And first of all, she had a lot of excuses why she couldn't do it, which, I mean, with excuses, it's not a judgment, it's more an observation, and for her an observation, and to become aware that she needs to work on surrendering and on relaxing. She couldn't relax into the breath. And she said, oh, I cannot do it, it's too hard, I'm hungry, I need to go to the bathroom. These are all things that the mind is telling you, for not allowing you to drop into your subconscious, where the party starts, actually, right? So the intellectual part and the analytical part, which still keeps the conscious and the subconscious apart, is the analytical mind. And these two, what needs to surrender. And there are other people, they were in a deep process, and they shifted, like, I don't know, they shifted so many frequency patterns, because when you go into such a process, you are going to go like step by step through one repressed emotion to the next, without knowing the emotion by name. It's not like, oh, now I feel this because my father did this or my mother did this. No, you just feel what you feel as an energy in your body, and not,
So no stories. No stories.
You don't know if it's anger, frustration. There are individuals, they experiencing that as well. Everybody's different, but majority and 95%, it's like just the frequency in the body, the vibration, because this is what the breath does, unlocking the vibration of a lower frequency. So you go through and through and through, and you unlock this pattern, this pattern, this pattern. And when you're going to surrender to it and accept the energy through your physical body, you acknowledge it. You're actually experiencing the miracle of miracles. It's going to fade. It's like you have tension in your body. You have pain. Maybe you have like spiral energy. You cannot even say what it feels like, because it's just so different. And it's just released through you by feeling, accepting it and surrendering to it, not judging it, non-resistance and non-attachment. Relax. So there were people, they literally shifted so many vibrational frequency patterns out of their past that they felt like a different person immediately afterwards. Mm-hmm. And for me, it was like the greatest gift, it's that people wanted to come and attempt and be a part of it, because I just put it out there. I told Vivian, our tour guide, and Freddie, our amazing guy, please come in. And Vivian, I love her. She's like my mother, honestly. She really taught everyone in the bus, hey, we do breath work if anybody wants to come. And I was like, thank you so much for just publishing it or announcing it. And that's it. And I just allowed people to come, and I didn't say anything else. Just be free, be open, be open-minded and in surrender mode, and show up, and we do the rest. And people came, and this was the most beautiful gift I could have received, next to all the other gifts, but through you guys, that you just wanted to have this experience. You didn't have to, because it was something you could do many different things in Luxor. That time.
Oh. I don't know if the audience can tell. I just kind of glanced over and looked at me. I am like being transported back into that space, feeling so much peace and joy during that BreathOlution. And just some housekeeping matters here. We were with the Sacred Earth Journey tour group, and Freddie Silva was our tour leader, and Vivian Zaki, I think it's Z-A-I.
Yes.
She was our Egyptian tour guide. She has a PhD in Egyptian antiquities, or she's an Egyptiologist, or however you say that.
Yeah.
She knows everything.
She knows everything.
Between Freddie and Vivian, we had it covered for sure. So just to give the listeners too a little bit of a visual here. So here we are on this beautiful day in Egypt, and we're all lying down on this manicured lawn with palm trees everywhere and other trees, and we all have our little blankets or whatever, and we're lying on those and relaxing. And you are walking around the group coaching us, getting us to cooperate. And the breath work that you coached us to do was like, this is hard, especially to do it for 2 hours. Are you kidding? Can you show people just for a second, what it is?
Yes. It's
Okay.
like, it's like, this is exactly it. It's hard only until you surrender.
Yeah.
When you surrender, the breath is breathing you. And that's another spiritual gift you receive, because it's so easy then. It's like, you can do this forever. It's like, what? Easy. Right? So
it's like, a good way to get our mind off the stories, because we're so frustrated with the ability to breathe. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's literally like that.
Yeah.
So I'm there. I'm just feeling into the whole collective of the group, and I'm observing the energy of every individual and who is related to whom, because obviously we are here together, or we have been there together. We all shared a vibrational match, all together with each other. Otherwise, it would not be possible to be there together on this area. And so I observed, and I saw who needs the support immediately and who doesn't, who just can dive, and what kind of a journey it will be for the individual. And so I could see that in the middle, there were 5 people breathing. They were very connected with each other, and they were interconnected with each other, and 3 of them had the same topics, the same programming, the same programming, and they were breathing with each other, actually for each other. It's the beauty and the group sessions, right? And so they always shifted with each other and helped each other without knowing that. So, and they grooved in easy into a breath rhythm very quickly. They were like, in 2 or 3 minutes, they were in the process. And I was like, oh yeah, wow, amazing. Yeah, I'm so happy for them. And then you could see the other ones, they had more trouble. So I go there, and I just tune into their feel, and I feel into where they're at. And then I communicate to them how to support them, that they keep breathing, that it's okay to slow down, but keep the rhythm up. That means keep the conscious connected circle away of breathing up. That's the breath of our baby. When we are born, we breathe conscious connected. We never ever stop breathing. We always breathe, like inhale and let go, inhale, let go. Like, check your cats. They breathe conscious connected.
Yeah.
Always. They never stop breathing. There's always in and out. So that's the sacred breath, or also, as we figured it out, of Isis. So, and then it's just also very often channeled and received what the being needs to hear. Like, for example, when I can say just names who was there, like Carlo needed something else than Vincent. Vincent needed something else, than you. I mean, with you, I saw what's happening, and I was thinking, yeah, I cannot thank you all enough. All the beings there around here support us in this BreathOlution journey, that one has a gift. And you've been the gift. You received that gift. And
hey, wait. It took me a while to get into it, though. You had to come over and really coach.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, wait. Back up a minute, because I did hear from a couple other people.
Oh, they were a cat. Oh, a cat. Sorry. Oh, okay. I love cats.
I
okay,
did.
Cool.
Sorry. I'm surprised they haven't. I got my Sekhmet nearby.
Oh, beautiful. Yes. That's it. That's her.
And my 2 onks.
Yes.
I've got Bastet.
Yes. Oh my God.
I got the gold which is
you got the Amun Ray. Yeah, you got yes.
Osiris
yes.
side. And
yes. Yes, I can see it now.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I got the Isis, and of course, it's not that important for the audience. It's a little boring for you guys, but it's so much connected.
I know. So, okay. So, before I just want the listeners to see. I mean, I've done a little bit of breath work, but nothing like this, and only maybe for 5 minutes. And
Yeah.
you were like coaching us to go or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
like it took
That's kind of
effort.
little. That's for you, that you were tuning into that rhythm.
Oh,
So
okay.
what I'm coaching, what is it? What
Okay.
is actually for all different when it comes to deprogramming and like releasing emotional trauma, which
Okay.
we also can call it. That's the same
Uh-huh.
trauma release through that breath rhythm. It's always the conscious connected circular way, which is going back to the baby breath, right? It's always like you breathe into your stomach.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's full, and you go freely, fully in a breath flow in
Yeah.
this, and you always relax your exhale. You release it. You don't push. You just release it.
Yeah.
So the speed, it's gonna change with the individual, because everybody's in a different state. Again, everybody has a different state of mind and emotion, repressed, and so on. So there are people, they believe when it goes faster, they go faster through it, which is not true.
Okay.
It's actually the opposite a little bit, because when you go, you pump more, and you got more, like faster, more oxygen. So you got lots of tingling very quickly.
Yeah, I did.
Right, because there's so much oxygen in your system, like your mitochondria, your cells take more oxygen, and the tingling happens, and that's the normal thing, the lightheadedness, and that's the beginning, which is just the bridge, like the gate opener, which the breath is like the key, the gate, and the bridge you build to another dimension through your breath, through the process, by deconditioning the programs, and then you're going to shift into a higher frequency. I know it's a lot, but that's it. But with you also started in a very normal, in a very like deep inhale, let go, deep inhale, let go, and then the mind tells you, oh, it's so hard, I cannot do this. Guess what happened? You're going to feel the emotion of it's hard, you cannot do this, which relates to something you experienced once. And this energy experience once takes place in your system, and many people stop to breathe then, because they believe what they feel.
Okay.
So you just stop thinking that, and you just allow yourself to focus your pure awareness. You take the awareness out of the library mind, which all the books and stories. You go to the breath and you stay there. This actually aligns you first. Mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual, aligns you immediately into the present moment when you do the awareness breathing. It immediately shifts in the present moment. Yeah. And when in the present moment you are breathing, it's easy. But when the mind comes in and tells you it's hard, it's this, you go back to the past, and you go back and forth and everywhere and all over the place, and you're not focused on what you're actually doing. You're breathing.
When my mind was kicking in, you were right there. Come on, Lisa. Come on. You can.
Yeah, I know. I saw that, and I was like, no, because I knew there is some energy waiting for you. And then when I was with you and said, you keep breathing, darling, you keep breathing, and you did it. Yeah. And then I saw you are actually past the gate, and then you started to build that bridge. Ooh. You start to build that bridge. This is what we do through the breath. So you can build a bridge in the 3D matrix, which is the conditioned, programmed way, day-to-day life by conditioned breathing. You build the bridge you already know of the past into the future, because it's what you do. And you can see it in the world, what's happening now. Or you breathe differently. You go, for example, in the BreathOlution ceremony, and you're going to build a new bridge, which you release the past, and you take the wisdom, and you build the bridge to your new life, which you actually desire to live, into another frequency of living and existing. And with you, my darling, oh my God, I mean, I was amazed. And that's why I encouraged you to keep breathing, because you could build a more solid bridge, a more solid and a higher frequency of bridge, because the breath also means you inhale light. People call it prana or chi, energy, life force. So you inhale that. And the more you do that, the more solid the bridge, and the more, again, you remember the light, the more they can blend with you easier.
Oh, girl.
Right?
And have I done it since I've gotten back? No. And I
Of
said I
course
was going to
not.
do it every day.
I know. It's very, very interesting because we don't have to think about breathing because we anyway breathing. I don't know if this was a good idea or a bad idea to not have it. Just kidding. But if people would be aware that they need to breathe in a certain way, instead of breathing in a way they're not, like you would die if you stop breathing, correct?
Yeah.
So you need to be reminded that you need to breathe in a certain way. Otherwise you die.
Yeah.
You would breathe different. So, but it's a slow death with the other breath.
So okay, go ahead.
You just do it every day for 5 minutes. That's it. But you have so much different things to do because it's not in our consciousness.
I only have different
minutes.
Okay, I can do that.
Because you're still alive. You don't need to do it because you're fine. You know what I mean? It's like you don't have to, so you don't do it. But you could enhance the joy in so much more when you would do it.
Okay. Well,
but go on.
Today after we
you are shining so bright.
Well, okay, so
you're good.
So I'll just share briefly what happened to me. So this beautiful Sekhmet, there's a life-size statue of Sekhmet in the Ptah Chapel in the Karnak area of Luxor. You were in front of her. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, we meditated.
Like a day or two before we did breath work with you.
Yeah.
I heard my guides, as you were saying, download this protocol, and again, I don't do breath work, but all of a sudden I'm doing breath work.
Yes.
And I'm looking at Sekhmet, who I've never heard before, because I signed up for this trip on January the 6th. Okay. So, boom, I'm off to Egypt, and Egypt hadn't called me. In fact, I felt pain around Egypt all my life. I thought I'll never be able to go to Egypt. Then all of a sudden, Egypt opened up, and boom, I'm there, not knowing what to expect. I just knew the temples and the pyramids would be wonderful for me now. So I had no idea that I was going to have some kind of a heart activation with this lady, beautiful Sekhmet, and found out later that that's what she does. So I'm standing in front of her, and there are a group of us in the Ptah Chapel.
Yep.
Being downloaded we couldn't tone in there. The guards wouldn't let us tone. We were lucky to get in. And I was guided to, like in a pray modality here, put my hands here and then put them out and in. And as I put them out, I breathed out. And as I brought them in, I breathed in. And I said in my mind's eye, or my inner voice, I said, I love you. You love I. Now I know it's you love me, but I always like to do the I's. I love you. You love I. So it's breathing out, I love you. Breathing in, you love I. And a friend of mine just recently said, well, Lisa, you facilitated each other's heart activation because it was an inner exchange, like I love you, you love I. I'm like, oh, I guess so. Well, before I knew it, my heart was buzzing like none other. And I have had heart activations before. I've had a golden beam come through the ceiling with the sonic boom, 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 boom in the middle of the night. I was wide awake. I woke up just in time. I've had other out-of-body experiences where my heart palpitates before I go into, the paralyzed state and everything. And so I've had these activations. This was different though. It was buzzing and intense and beautiful. And I could feel the energy going outward, but it was just in my heart. And I was like, okay, if nothing else happens on this trip, this is beyond anything. Well, unbeknownst to me, there you are offering this breath work. Now this heart activation that she started, which I did find out on the internet, that if you're lucky, it will go into your hands. Okay, so now I'm doing the I'm doing the breath work that you're facilitating, the BreathOlution. And my whole body is buzzing. Okay. Yeah. So like an hour, I guess. My whole body is buzzing. I'm doing all kinds of gyrations with, I'm up and I'm doing, it was crazy. And then I just was guided to sit up and put my hands out, and I could feel the energy from my hands 3 feet outward. I'm like, my healing hands. This is amazing. So
Yes.
I got started with this and then completed it with you, and
Yes.
it
Yes,
just
you were
went,
ready.
woo.
You were ready. You were ready. It was time.
Ah, okay,
It
it's
was
time.
time.
And I was ready.
You were ready. You were
Okay.
ready to finally you completed so many cycles in your evolutionary journey. You completed a lot of emotional cycles, a lot of you shifted so much memory into wisdom. It's crazy the last 10 years when I observed your energy, and it's like you like this glooming light bulb, right? And
Yeah.
you're ready to level up and to step into your full power, also expanding your work and expanding your consciousness by being in service and offering your service to humanity the way you do it in a more expansive way. And so what happened is literally like that, this heart opening, because you have here the heart chakras, right?
Okay.
They relate to the heart. That's why when people holding hands, they're holding their hearts in their hands. And it's like when you do breath meditation and a breath meditation through your heart, you can feel the pulsing here extremely. It's getting very hot. And so it's like you were ready to be completely like streamed with this heart energy through Sekhmet, which I was like, and you saw that I wanted to do this on another place, and the general manager of the hotel said, "Hey Dela, there is the Horus. You like Horus?" And I was like, "Oh my God, sorry." And he said, "Yeah, there's a Horus statue there. This is where you can do it." And I was like, "Yeah, that's the place to do it." So we had Horus with us as well, and many others. But Sekhmet with you, it was just inevitable. And this gift, like this was like a multidimensional download from her to you, to embodying this power she shared with you. She blended with you that intensely, that close, that the frequency was your frequency of the body through the breath could adjust to her frequency. And you could be a match to this energy, and it streamed you. And then I didn't need to come back to you to tell you to breathe, because you were on such a high, and I was like, that's it, she's good to go.
I was on a ride.
You're good.
Stop.
Yeah, you're good. You're safe. You're done. You go, girl.
Oh, and I remember you saying,
like,
you said this was a gift. This was a gift. You're not always going to experience this every time you have breath work.
No.
Okay.
Oh no. This was literally like, I guess I told you, there's just a really couple people in the whole time I'm doing that. Maybe 2 people, they really had that experience with this gift. And you're the second.
Okay. Well,
so it's like
above or better than
no,
anyone.
it's just you were ready.
We're all ready, people.
We all ready. Yeah, and I feel that everything speeds up also in manifestation and in the light that we can perceive and receive in our body mind system, that we have a higher feeling tone through the mind cell, that we can manifest faster, we can deconditioning faster, and the breath is the shortcut. You know, it's where you related to the breath when you are going to be miserable. It's the breath that takes you out of it, and it's the breath that keeps you in it. So but yeah, I mean, I was so happy to see that. I was so happy for you, because you have such a purpose. Even the purpose of life on earth is to recognize ourselves, who we truly are, and feel, and and be in service. But it was just ready for you to receive that last gift of the whole circuit journey.
It tied it together. I mean, you brought it full, you helped me bring it full circle. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you that you did it.
I love the divine masculine there. I was speaking with Carlo and Brian afterwards. They had phenomenal experiences.
Yes, very much.
Out of body, remote viewing.
Very much, yes, big time.
Huge transformational. And I was like, I am so honored by your divine masculinity. This is so cool.
Absolutely. Yes, they had, I mean, I'm doing this so long, I'm always blown away how beautiful. I'm just so grateful, you know.
Yeah.
What is happening to people when you have had this gift, another person had this big shift in her body, in her system, like big release, like emotional trauma, huge release, and that was her gift.
Yes.
It's not different. It's like,
yeah.
you know, it's not kind of like, oh, you had a gift, you don't. No, but it's just different.
You can't help but get a gift. Everybody gets a gift. You know?
Everybody gets a gift, but it's just different. It's just everybody always gets and receives what they need to evolve themselves through themselves, right?
So well, Egypt and Kemet, as we say, Kemet, the
ancient one
term for it. Yeah. You know, how incredible. So for you personally, what takeaways do you have? What personal experiences would you like to share? In addition to the gift you received in this BreathOlution facilitation, what else? You know, I know you connected with your guides at the temples. So phenomenal that you saw the beautiful picture, full color. Is there any other takeaway you want to share on this wonderful journey?
Yeah, I mean, every time, every day was a new, like a loaded basket with gifts there, right? I was like, I mean, like, but where shall I start, right? I mean, first of all, to meeting you and meeting all these beautiful people, this deep gratitude for you and for everyone, and for Freddie and for beautiful Vivian, and all the people that just served us and helped us and supported the journey to be pleasant and helped us and being safe and you know, for sure. This is also not taken for granted at all, and especially not in that time we're living in. And so, but I mean, in the Philae temple with Isis, where I love cats, I love all animals. It doesn't matter. By the way, this morning a spider made a huge net in front of my door to come in and out, and I was looking at her and I said, baby, it's not a good place. I'm so sorry. I love all animals. I don't care if you're a spider or if you're a, and so I took her and took him away to the window where you can make a huge net, because there's no one opens that window at all, so it's just okay. And so, but it breaks my heart to destroy the net. It's like, whoa, you spent so much time for it. So it's like, what, we humans, we don't even know how to produce this silk, and now we destroy a net. This is not okay, but now he's here. I hope he's happy. So
he is.
Oh my God. And so the thing is that the cats there, we rescued cats in Thailand, we rescued cats in Dubai, we rescued cats everywhere, and to have a beautiful home for them. 6 sisters in Thailand, and then 3 in Dubai, 2 + 1. And so it's like, when we came to Philae, and there were hundreds of cats almost, right? It felt like hundreds of cats. Yeah. So I was all over the place. I was the happiest girl in the world. I was like, thank you, heaven's here. And I was like gone. And Vivian was always observing me. What is she doing, my daughter? I love her so much. She's really. And so I got so much information in the Philae temple. I know if you recognize that we were meditating with Freddie, we did this guided meditation, and all of a sudden, all these different gods came in and did what they did, and I started crying immediately. I couldn't stop crying, and I tried to stop crying. I was like, what? Seriously? Now, when everyone is around me, I cannot just cry now. And then I heard someone say, it is your journey. You surrender now, or, you know, is it? I was like, yeah, right. So let go of this. Oh, what do people think? No. And I cried and I cried and I cried, and I didn't really know why, to be honest, in the first place. And then Brooke took me in her arms, and I was like, oh, it was so sweet, and I was good again. And I was standing on a different place because I thought maybe the vibration, the energy is a little intense there in that corner. Yeah. And I stand in a different place, and it was even more, and I started to cry again. And I received all the information, who I've been. And so I met myself in that place
Yeah.
And I got all the answers. I question a lot because I'm, it's kind of like, I'm skeptical. Even I'm a spiritual teacher, but I'm skeptical, right? I want to experiencing, and I'm feeling into it. If it resonates, everything is vibration frequency. And if it's not resonating, I just drop it and I feel another thing. It's like, but I had a lot of questions because in my childhood, I got a lot of information that I had a life in Egypt. And I knew who I've been. And for me, I knew it. But then I became aware of who it was. And I said, no, no, that's not possible. That's not me. No, never. So before I came to Egypt, I had a lot of initiation with my guides and with my beloved. And we did a lot of movements. I didn't even know what that means. I was like, yeah, okay, again, this one, okay, whatever. It was really like, okay, I'm surrendering, but I need to know what it is. And I got all the answers in this little temple. And this is when it started to all and everything make sense. Why I am the way I am, and why I'm pursuing what I'm pursuing in life, why I'm on that mission, and so on, and why I dedicate my life to it. I don't have children, even I love children so much, but I decided as a child already, I don't have children because I know I'm here. And therefore it's just everything became clear and it was in my face. And then that was the buildup. Yeah. Then we went to the next time, the Edfu, again, with Horus, again, full on. Then we go, then the Abydos was and Brian took a picture. I had this feeling I need to go to every chamber, like to the Isis, Horus, Osiris, like, the Ptah, all these different chambers. And I went from one to the other. And they initiated me again. Oh. And he made pictures. Brian took a picture and I was completely alone in the chamber. I was like, I let go. I didn't care if someone comes in. I didn't care. It was just me and the God or the frequency. Right. So, and all this was embodying it, but it's not happening through the intellectual part. I didn't always know what's happening by still the way of thinking. I didn't really know exactly what energy is now entering my body. So through the initiations and the Osirian, when we were meditating, and then, all the temples, it's every day more, it was integrating. And I had all of a sudden more wisdom in a way of understanding, like things like synopsis, like they came together, like the lines between the synopsis, they just came together and they light it up. It's like, oh my God, why? Okay, interesting. That makes sense. Or I was triggered by someone saying something, and then a whole download kicked in. Oh, wow. So it came, and Dendera was then at the end the one which everything came together. So I was like, I had an overload of information. Like my body, I felt like I was tired from that. In Dendera, I felt it. I started to become tired. Because I couldn't really integrate as fast as I wanted, because every day was the next. Oh, yeah. It was so intense. But I had everything I can say is that I met myself on this sacred temple journey we went on in every aspect. And in the life, I finally surrendered to it and accepted. And in the being, in the different lives I had on different solar system and star system, and for being that star seed and light worker, I completely surrendered and I accepted it, not being better or less or whatever. It's never about that. It's literally about knowing thyself and meeting yourself to the fullest with no questions anymore. And this is where I really literally can say I met myself. Oh. And this, it's a lot. I love to that. Explain, right?
Met yourself. And what's coming up for me is that if we're able to meet ourselves, then we meet every aspect of ourselves on all simultaneous parallel lives.
That's it.
This is almost like the core, the epicenter. If, as we've been talking this whole time here, if we can bring it all in, own it, be responsible for it,
That's
and
it.
love it.
That's it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. It was and I was happy that I was in quarantine, like for 10 days in Switzerland. Even there was a negative test, but you need to go into quarantine as well.
Okay.
And I was really happy about that because I was here. I closed the door.
Yeah.
That's it. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to, I didn't want to see anyone. Obviously, I cannot. But I just was there, and I still fasted a bit. And I just needed to integrate. I needed to integrate, and
I
it was
agree. Yeah. So more
yeah.
on that. Yeah. 10 days. And then even now, do you feel like you're integrating and assimilating? I mean, what are your dreams like at night? I mean,
Oh my God. Yeah, my dreams are great. My dreams are, I always have vivid dreams, and I love lucid dreaming. When it happens, it's just the most amazing
yeah.
thing, right? It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool. But my dreams are really like,
Uh-huh.
they were really, I got like different dreams. Yes, very different dreams. Like dreams of teachings and explanations again, and wonderful, like really wonderful, and different, very different. Every night I'm so curious what I'm going to dream again. Where do I go? And there were a few nights in a row where I went to the same place with the same people, communicating, where we stopped talking. And it was like I was more alive in my dream state, and I felt that's my reality than here in this 3D hologram we are living in, or time-space reality we're living in. And it's was more real than this here.
I agree with that. And you weren't quarantined in your dream state.
Yeah.
You were free to be you and be connected with everyone. I agree. I've had the same phenomena. It's so many, every night it's about Egypt, even still. And like portals and symbols and dreaming sometimes of the people that were on our journey. And even one night, I didn't write this down in my journal. I kind of keep a journal, and I even wrote a book that has a bunch of stuff in it back in end of 2012. However, I had in my dream, I had this little button, like on your keyboard, but it was round. You know how like if you hit a button along too many times, the key gets a little faded,
Yes.
So I had this round button in my dream that had Egypt portal, and the words Egypt portal were kind of broken. I mean, the paint from the words Egypt portal were kind of chipped away a little bit because I had pressed it so many times.
Oh my God, this is you've been there many times, darling. This is so cool. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Just talking about portals, how did you experiencing our last night in the Egypt, in the pyramid, in the Isis pyramid, in the big one? Because when we left Egypt, and I've been on the Giza plateau many times doing some studies and stuff, but that time when we left, there were the pyramids, they're the pyramids, we know. But when we came back from the whole initiation journey, for everyone different in a different way, I saw the pyramids the first time for what they are. Yeah, I feel.
Me too.
I was like, what? Who are you?
I know.
Mean, oh my God, this is not true right now.
Yeah, I mean, I got here a day early and had a room overlooking the pyramids. And to me, they were kind of blank. And then when we drove up the last day to the pyramids, I'm looking at them, I'm like, whoa, you're activated. You've got energy spewing from you. What's going on?
The pure portal. It's like Shazar and I sitting in the bus, not close to each other in that time, but we both felt each other.
Yeah.
We both looked at the pyramids. We both were in the bus. You can see that when they come up on, and we're like, what? What?
I know.
Oh my God. How was your experience?
Yeah, in the King's Chamber, are you talking about? Or
I mean, what I felt when I saw the pyramids, it was an organic. They were organic.
Yes,
they were living beings. They were a connection to a multidimensional existence. I see I have problems to talk in that. It was so overwhelming.
Yeah.
And it's like I saw etheric pyramids,
Yeah.
and I felt the pyramid underneath the pyramid as the mirror effect of the shadow and the light.
Yeah.
And it was like so much information. I was like sitting there and just taking it in and just want to say, oh my God, she's on.
I know. It was phenomenal. It was.
How was
Yeah.
your experience in the Great Chamber, the King's Chamber?
Oh, okay. Well, I felt like what we were doing as a group, we all were into toning. I felt like the whole group was well, doing what you were saying earlier in the conversation about how there's sound in the mind. So it was as if that acoustical box of the King's Chamber is perfectly acoustically aligned. I mean, it's crazy because I went
like
there.
in Dashur, like in Dashur.
Yeah, I went there the next day and had it all to myself, and the guard turned off the air conditioners and he let me tone in the middle of that. And
bless you.
in a big box, the sarcophagus, which
gift.
isn't really a sarcophagus, it's just a box, ascension box. And the acoustics are beyond belief, okay, beyond this realm.
Yeah.
So I felt like as a group, we were tuning it, right, into a sound vibration that it hadn't experienced in a long time.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I had the same experience in that way. I mean, the experience was super intense. Like I was feeling that I am how you say this? Déportation. Do you know the word in French? Déportation, like deport, like you dematerialize and rematerialize.
Yeah.
So I felt I'm like kind of like dematerialized kind of ways, and the toning was a part of it, of course, but it's like the beings, they blend with me. They were actually in my body. So I felt this one particularly, and it was the greatest gift to me, to experiencing that with him, and being him, having this little glimpse of light, like I don't even know how to explain that, honestly.
Yeah.
But the toning, there were so many different mind sounds, so many different individuals in this little place, and everyone was intentionally trying to tune into the energy of the portal. And it was really intense to me, really intense, because I could sense, maybe it was also the fasting, which actually 100% was also the fasting, but I could really recognize and feel everyone in its own vibrational mind sound frequency, where they're at, in a lower vibration as a whole or in a higher. And it was kind of little, not scary, but it was like it was like I had one little moment when I need to get out here. I was like, it's too much. And I heard, no, focus on the breath, focus. And I was like relaxing, focus, and I could detach and I could just observe it again, not becoming it. So it was a teaching for me to be really here, focused, not becoming what you perceive, but observing it. So it was all in one, from a way of body mind sound.
Yeah, so not
every individual.
Yeah, not focusing on the fear stories that you were seeing.
Observing, yes.
Or feeling just the beautiful energy.
Yes, just letting it happen, and just be here, and don't try to not see it or see it, but being observant and being in your energy, and then it was like literally like the toning of everyone shifted the energy again. And then of course Vivian and Freddie did a great job with his bass tones he put into it, which was very necessary. And it was intense and a huge gift, the whole experience. And then when we came out of the pyramid, Sirius, Orion, and the Pleiadians,
oh my goodness, it was crazy.
Open. It was open. It was like, okay, there we go.
Right over the Great Pyramid. You know, the bass tone that Freddie did the next day when I was in the box, I just gravitated to this really low note.
Yes.
Started seeing myself go through a pyramid within a pyramid within a pyramid within a pyramid. And then the
Yes.
bird came over on the top and said, "Your 10 minutes is up." I'm like, ah, you know,
Oh
I
no.
know. I feel like I need 3 or 4 hours in there all
Yeah.
night. Oh, I'd love it.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah, one day it's gonna
I
happen.
feel like I just, I know time is just information or just an illusion or whatever, however and I know I can connect to it from here.
Yeah, you can project your consciousness into the
Yeah.
chamber.
So
Just be in a dark, very dark room,
okay.
and tune into the vibration. Remember the vibration you had, the
Yeah.
frequency vibration you had when you were in the chamber.
Okay.
And you can maybe trigger yourself by toning,
Okay.
like dark, like the toning.
Okay.
And then you just feel the vibration, feel the surrounding. And when you feel the match, the vibrational match with the pyramid, you're there.
Okay, I'll try that. I've got a storage room down in my basement that I can lie on the bench of my workout bench and
Yes,
do that.
yes.
Okay.
Yes. You can do this. It's easy for you.
Ooh. Well, darling Dale,
Yes,
we've
darling Lisa.
gone a little longer than we thought. That's good because everything's
right.
organic.
Okay. Yeah, that's so true.
Okay, so I'm going to stop with, well, first of all, again, you know how to find Dela. I've got all her contact information below here. And I am going to stop with the last question. Dela, if time and money were of no issue, because it's just rules in our realm that we don't have to pay, what would your dream for society be?
You want to stop now. You're so funny. Okay. I would, for people always call this Delatopia because I have my idea how it should look like the perfect world, like, you know, like Earth in harmony with, and so on, with all beings and higher frequencies. So I would say that there are places in every single city, every single place, everywhere, where you have the opportunity to shift separation consciousness into unity consciousness. For that, everyone has the opportunity to learn about your own unity, unification of the self. For that, the collective can be unified. Oh. Without you as an individual doing the work of unifying, of healing, integrating, purifying, and unifying the self, integrating the shadows, the fragmentation, the splitting consciousness. When you're not doing that work, the collective is not going to evolve in that way. So you're important. So I wish that for society to collaborate rather than to see everybody is like, how you say this in English, like what's the opposite of collaboration? Compete, thank you. That instead of competing, like surrender the raw harsh ego, surrender the narcissistic behavior patterns, come back to himself and see how beautiful and how important you are to collaborate with other people, to live in tribes, you know, to live not just family by family, but come together again in a unity and see the beautiful different aspects of the self and of others, the difference, love the differences of people, not judging them, not you know, just love the colorful, you like a flower, you like a garden with many different colors of flowers. There are many different aspects of your garden with herbs and vegetables, and this more than just, you know, like this robotic thing which is separated. So just mastering self-love and unification in all different levels. This would be my Delatopia. Yeah.
Delatopia. You know, that's what's next for us, Dela, is going into Delatopia.
Yes. So everyone like Lisa-topia.
I'd be just completely satisfied with Delatopia. It sounds so good to me.
Yes.
But I do like that. It's our own utopia. And through these treasures of BreathOlution and fasting, cleansing, we can enter into that right now. We can start perceiving what's outside of us, which is a reflection that is within us.
Yes.
See out here as a reflection of what we just projected out can look more and more like Delatopia, Lisatopia.
Yeah.
Wow.
But especially right now in that times where everything is so chaotic and crazy.
Yeah.
Look inside of yourself what is chaotic and crazy, because everything that is happening now is nothing else than the collective have an overload of repressed emotion and repressed energy fields projecting into the outer world, and it's reflecting back. We have to take responsibility now for the self.
Ah, well, that sums it up completely. Take responsibility for the self.
Yeah.
So, Dela, I want to thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Lisa. It was such a pleasure. I missed you and I love you. And I hope I can come to the States very soon. I would love that. I love the States. I love the States. I've been so many times. I have so many friends there. You're so lucky.
Oh, well, you're lucky. Zurich. Oh, and all the other places you've been, Bali, Thailand, Dubai, all these places that you've traveled and lived at such a young age. You know, girl, you just got so much ahead of you. I love it. Integrating and assimilating utopia, Delatopia.
Oh, God.
Okay, listeners.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you for joining us. And until next time, you know how to get a hold of both Dela and I. We're here to help facilitate.
Exactly.
You know, do whatever you're ready for.
And thank you. Thank you, Lisa, and all of you, that you are the shift you so seek to see in the world.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Thank you, Dela. Until next time. I hope to have you on again.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, we love you. Bye-bye.
Love you too. Bye, love.
We